Welcome to Stay Sparked. On this show, we explore how to stay inspired in the modern world through the most profound lessons from Burning Man, relationships, entrepreneurship, psychedelics, spirituality, travel, and more.
On today's episode, we discuss the power of kindness.
We talked about little ways like name tags and big ways like refugee rescues of how kindness can change the world.
We also talk about how important it is to be kind to ourselves and how then the world reflects it right back to us. Enjoy the episode.
Welcome to Stay Sparked. We are three longtime friends who have been having conversations inspiring each other for over a decade. So we want to invite you in and share the conversations with you. Thank you so much for listening. If you've been enjoying the conversations, we'd love it if you leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts so we can share the sparks with others. For example, thank you, Raven Star, for your review saying, harmonious trifecta. What a beautiful balance these three friends have together. I love all of the conscious topics they cover and how they weave their own life experiences in a fun, positive conversational flow with beneficial hacks and affirmations. Boom. Thank you, Raven. Maybe your review will be read on a future episode. I am HALCYON.
And I'm Betsy.
And I am Giannis.
I am the host of the Hug Nation podcast and the creator of the Love More Fearless t-shirt store.
And I am a holistic healing arts practitioner, and I am also the founder of Power Affirmation Project, which teaches life skills for sustainable happiness.
And I am the founder and CEO of New World Nutritionals, a nutritional supplement company with products designed to improve and elevate your state of mind.
And we like to start off with some gratitude. So, Betsy, would you share some gratitude with us?
Yes. I am going to share my gratitude for this beautiful wedding that I was just at this weekend. It was a 3.5-day wedding, which was the way to go. It felt so good to get to such quality time with beautiful souls and get to meet their families and get to really drop in. So I'm really, really grateful for this way of getting to celebrate love with a nice, lengthy, beautiful celebration.
Beautiful.
Nice. So I am grateful for it. You two know, and I'm sure there might be some people out there who listening who know, but I, myself and my partner are expecting a newborn baby arrival coming up in a few months, about 5 months from now. And what I'm grateful for, I mean, there's so many things around that, but one of the things I'm grateful for of late is the new kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Motivation to get healthy and to kind of it has narrowed this impending adventure has narrowed my focus on a lot of things and being like, okay, I don't really have time for that thing anymore. I need to be focusing on this thing. So it has gotten me very focused and very motivated to do a lot of things that I think are good for me, regards to eating right, getting up on time, what I'm spending my time doing, and all that stuff. So it's really like got me focused on a lot of positive things. So thanks for the newborn adventure coming up soon. I'm feeling grateful for that.
It's already begun.
It's already begun. Yeah,
you got a in utero trainer motivating you. That's awesome.
Yeah, the motivational speakers haven't said anything yet.
Oh, beautiful. Well, I am grateful this week for our experience this weekend. Had a chance to do the First Saturdays outreach for people experiencing homeless that I get to do. And it's just so rewarding to get to connect with people that are outside of my normal social interactions. And just just a simple moment of connection, a little bit of piece of conversation is so nourishing. So I'm so grateful for that opportunity. And speaking of opportunities for connection, our topic this week is kindness and the power of kindness. And I actually, when we circled up the volunteers before we served at First Saturdays, I mentioned that, look, the world is a very confusing place. It's hard to know who's the good guys, who's the bad guys, when you're doing the right thing, if your recycling is going in the right place, if you've got the right electric car. But there's one thing that to me is absolutely black and white. It's good to be kind. And so when we have those opportunities to be kind, it feels so good. And so I'm excited today to talk about kindness and kind of what it means to us, how we express it, and how it affects our lives and the lives of those we touch. Betsy, you're talking about a recent experience. Do you care to share a little bit about the kindness in your heart right now?
Yes, absolutely. I feel so filled up. So, this wedding that I was at recently was some new friends, and I met probably close to 100 people. Just a lot of people on a short amount of time. And one of the things that was so deeply nourishing to me was I felt this very beautiful spirit of seeing each other. There was a lot of eye contact. There was a lot of name remembering, like repeating each other's names, and a lot of hugs, actually. And what that did for me as somebody who is kind of newer to this group of people made me feel so included. And I just felt really more open because people were remembering my name, saying, "Hey, Betsy. Oh, hey, I'm so grateful I met you, Betsy." And there was just this really warm feeling. And that helped me to settle into this environment, which, I think one of our core needs as humans is a sense of belonging, right? Because in our primal nature, if we don't belong to the community, then we, may die, right? When we were first developing our species, if we're not part of the group, then we could actually die. And so there is this part inside that is like, oh, I need to feel like I belong. And so in these subtle ways of inclusion, which is, one of the Burning Man principles, and Burning Man has really taught me that, is to be able to acknowledge people, to offer an extension of support or a hug or whatever that might be. By the end of the weekend, I felt like these people were my family. I felt, wow, I am so in love with so many people. My heart is so full. I feel like I can go out into the world even more bright and more filled up. And so, yeah, I'm really inspired to keep sharing that same kind of inclusion, that same kind of inclusivity of hugs and eye contact. Mhm.
Mhm.
That's interesting that some of the little details that you mentioned of eye contact and names is part of the intro that I do at First Saturdays, where we have everybody have name tags. And partially that's because my grandpa used to wear a name tag every day. And he said that is a invitation to the world that I would like to connect with you more. Yeah.
I love that. You know what the
Yeah.
wedding gift was? They gave everybody a really nice mug that had the lid on it, like a travel mug, and they printed out name tags or they laser engraved on little wood name tags.
Love
And so
it.
we all had name tags, which is great. I'm like, gosh, can we do this everywhere?
Right. It's like it's
Yeah.
like a notice to the world. Like, I'm open to you being closer and more connected to me. Love that.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with name tags, where I mean, there's a few different ways to go about it, but I think what it does, at least in my experience, is it invites um it invites a meeting, it invites a chance to meet on a more personal level, like it's when you go to like a store where like somebody's or a shop where somebody's got the name tag on. There's a couple different ways to approach that. It kind of all depends on how you say somebody's name or the inflection you put on somebody's name. And but if you're nice, if you're friendly about it, it's like, hey Sandra, can I help you? Yes, Sandra, maybe you can help me. Da, da, da. And they're like, it brings them closer. Like you feel the energy of it. And so the idea of yeah, we should all wear name tags. That might be that could be a fun little boost to society.
Well,
So true.
it's
Yeah,
really
when we
like,
say someone's name, it lights people up. Right? I know when I hear someone say my name, is like, oh, I'm called into presence. I feel seen, cared for.
yeah, it's
Mm.
like a connection tool. And I think I've been thinking about that as far as kindness. It's like the salve for connection, and a name tag is a way to kind of announce I'm open to it. But and I think that's one of the things that I try to really practice every morning. I try to do this a love morning broadcast, and part of it is, encouraging myself and others to look for opportunities for kindness. Because sometimes the world is more closed off. Sometimes it feels like it's a scary word to world to be kind. I think that sometimes we're even encouraged to protect yourself. Don't be a chump. Don't be taken advantage of. And so it really takes some courage to go out into the world with a name tag or not, and just trying to find ways to be kind. I wonder if you guys ever feel like the world is not open to kindness.
Certainly, and it's easy to kind of get caught up in that. I mean, related to the work that you're doing, John. There was a time where I've kind of have gone back and forth when it comes, when we encounter somebody who is, feeling they are houseless, or they're dealing with some, issues or addictions. They're for whatever reason, they're on the street, and living on the street. It is super easy for when we walk by these people to just ignore them and act like we don't see them, or we do see them, but we don't care about them, or whatever. And I've kind of come full circle. I have definitely spent a lot of time doing that. And I've come full circle on that. It's like, okay, I might not have any change for you. Sometimes I do. But I might not have any money I can give you, but I can at least give you presence. I can at least give you acknowledgement. Just like eye contact, being like, I'm sorry, I can't help you today. Best of luck, so on and so forth. And you would think that's kind of like that would be met with like cynical kind of thing. But my experience has been like, that is appreciated. It's like, well, okay, you see me. Thank you for that, if nothing else. And a lot of times they're like, thank you. And it's a genuine thank you. So it takes, in my experience, it takes effort to not be kind. Like, it actually takes effort for me to ignore somebody, or to not just give them some presence and acknowledgement. I have to go, and it's like, it's just grab, hi, whatever. It's easier in my experience, and I think it's true for a lot of people. It's easier to be kind than to be indifferent, or to be anything else but, frankly. So yeah, that's been my experience.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I love that so much too, because sometimes I'll be passing somebody on the freeway or getting off the freeway, and there's somebody with a sign. If I don't have anything, I always try and do that, like give them a peace sign, or give them a little like eye contact, and just send them love. I've encountered quite a few unkind people on my journey. There's people out there that are just not kind, and they are crunchy and rude, or they're whatever they're going through, right? They're projecting some anger. And I recently actually had that experience of an up close and personal woman who I was actually living with for a short time, maybe just a few months, thankfully. But she was very closed and very unkind and not open to connect, and was actually quite mean at certain moments. And at first, I took it very personally, and it was really hard, because I'm the type of person that like makes friends very easily. I love all my people, and I oftentimes am met with a lot of warmth. And so it was kind of shocking to my system at first to feel such sharp pricklies. And I know I didn't do anything wrong to hurt this woman, but it really threw me off at first. And then after some time of really being with that energy, I got to process it and check in and really tune into, what do I have to learn here from, this woman's projections and how she's treating me. And I got to see some things that I didn't know. I learned some things about her, that she was really going through a hard time. She was, I'm not going to get into the details, but she had lost some things in her life, and she was very upset about some things that had nothing to do with me. And I started to have compassion for her, and I started to just soften around taking things personally, because of course it's in the nature to take it personally. But then once I started to have a deeper understanding around what she was going through, and knew that it had nothing to do with me, I just started to focus on my own self-care, and started to just send love energetically and psychically, even though I know she was not able to connect. And it really helped me get through it a lot. And it reminds me too, sometimes, if you come up to a cashier and they're crabby or they're a little snarly and they're not so happy to be there, I used to take it personally and I used to walk away be like, what a rude person. Gosh, what's their problem? And now I've gotten to a place of considering what they might be going through. Maybe a parent just died, or maybe they have somebody sick at home, or maybe they are really feeling sick, whatever it might be. And so it's actually an invitation to offer more kindness. And so that's when I start to smile more. And that's when I say the cashier's name, right? Like, thank you so much for helping me out today, Jenny. Right. And that might actually bring a little bit. And that's what I ended up doing with this woman. After I got over my own, like, why does she like me? I started to go, okay, you know what? How can I offer a little bit of kindness? How can I just be in a little bit of service here? Maybe wash her dish once in a while. Maybe just, tend to the space a little bit. Just let her know that I'm here and it's okay. And we ended up having a really graceful completion of our time together, which I'm so grateful for, because it could have blown up into a huge fight and it didn't, because of kindness.
Oh, that's awesome. There's it's very difficult, I think, to continue being kind when you are met with coldness or pricklies. And I think that for me, it's really helpful to think of myself as a love ambassador or a love warrior, because it takes something to keep being nice when the world doesn't reflect it back. It's easy when you are at a wedding or you're at Burning Man and you go, nice pants, and they say, love your hair. It's like, yay, we're all like lifting each other up. And that's freaking awesome. But when you are in the world and you go, nice pants, and someone gives you a scowl, my instinct is, not going to do that again. Let me just put my head down. I don't like that feeling. Do not like that feeling. But if I can remember, okay, this is when it takes the courage. This is what I'm training for. This is all the privilege that I have, of all the communities I have that have taught me how to be loving and caring. I need to now step up and summon it and shine it back and keep doing it. And honestly, I believe that if you are feeling lost in the world and what am I supposed to do with my life, if you just do that, if you just go out and show kindness, little bitty things of kindness. Hello, good morning. Thank you, Jennifer, for bagging my groceries. Dude, at the end of the day, you can sleep well knowing, okay, I live a life of purpose. I'm a kind person. Done.
Yep. Yeah, that's well, and then because what we're getting into is like the levels of kindness, because it's like, as you guys have both said, it's easy. If we're walking around the woods like Snow White, and we're like happy with we're like la 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 la, and all the animals are flying onto our hands, and then we're singing to the birds. It's easy to be kind in that level. But when there's somebody who doesn't necessarily receive our kindness, or they're like rah or whatever, now we're talking about getting into compassion, which kind of, in my mind, walks hand in hand with kindness. And so when we're met with a little bit of resistance to that, that's when we have to, okay, I'll go a little deeper, source that compassion for somebody who's not, operating or feeling at their best, and not take that personally. Like you say, it's one of the 4 agreements that we keep having to remind ourselves of. And being like, okay, so no, source this compassion. It's not personally, they got their own stuff going on. I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't need to know. I can still be kind. I can still offer them some kindness, because as we said, the world is really harsh in many ways, and kind of getting harsher. So it's ever more vital to show up in a way that people might not remember. As it says, people might not remember what you said, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. Even if they never see you again, you'll be that nice person that they encountered during that day. You were at least one good thing that happened during that day. So that's a good place to be.
Yes, so true. It does make the world a better place. It reminds me, actually, I did a guided meditation from this woman, and she had us visualize what the highest and best version of the world would look like. What is, like, world peace look like, or what is, your vision for humanity? And when I was imagining, I was watching people on the street high-fiving each other. And I was just imagining, hundreds and thousands of people passing each other by and smiling and saying hello and joy, like kind of passing this ball of light around. And I really feel like kindness can uplift humanity through some of this very challenging times of fighting and war and division and, even just little bits here and there within our own homes, within our own communities, within our own cities. Simple practices.
Absolutely. And I think that what people sometimes say, if I could just make a difference in one person's life, guess what? You can. If you the number of
Mhm.
times, like Betsy, when that person was having a bad day and they were frustrated, they were probably slipping into a mindset of life sucks, people suck, and then when you walk through and you're like, hi, and you really give them presence and kindness, you become the exception to the rule. You break that story that people suck. And the number of times that I've witnessed that happen, like at Burning Man, people have said, I was feeling like I was at the end, like I was done, and then they say, and then I was sitting on the couches at your camp. Someone walked up, they offered me water, they offered me the conversation, they just started asking me questions. And I was like, this person is really genuinely being kind to me. Like, and that click of like, it does dramatic effects. And that person, that stays with someone forever. So the degree of impact, or it doesn't take a lot. And I think that if we can remember, just like look for little ways. And I'm going to just jump a little further, because I think when you start practicing ways to be kind in little ways, you will then be ready when you have the opportunity to do something grand. And because you've been practicing and you know how good it feels and you know what the impact can be, you can jump. And there was a moment when the Ukrainian crisis was getting really terrible. There was a woman in our gratitude circles that fled her home with her family, and another person in the gratitude circle who had just been practicing being kind, and they didn't know her except for through this gratitude circle, that lived in Paris, got in their car, drove 10 hours, picked up another person in the gratitude circle that lived in Aachen, Germany, drove another 10 hours to the Polish border and picked up these family and helped find them a home in Hungary. It's like
Wow.
and that is a type of life-changing, rippling kindness that they were ready. Like I could see, you just, when you see yourself as someone who does kind things, first it's saying hello, it's saying someone's name, it's opening the door, it's offering someone if they need help with their groceries, and then it's saving a family. And I think that, like, I think about that a lot as like it's the direction we're going, not the distance. Because if we just keep going in the right direction, eventually we will find ourselves making a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to speak to something else around this. The power of kindness can ripple, and also the opposite, right? Just as much as someone smiling at you can stay with you for a long, long time, or change your day, or somebody's little generous act can really stay with you, so can the opposite. It can be so impactful if we were rude to somebody, or if we poke somebody, or we're say a mean thing, even a tiny little mean thing, that can stay with somebody for their entire life, right? And so it's really up to us to each stay mindful around the ways in which that we can um, you know that our words are powerful, our actions are so powerful, and if we care about making this world a better place, those little things make such a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it gets into a bit of esoteric viewpoints, but I'm sorry, it's absolutely true. Like, I do kind of what you focus on expands. I've seen too much evidence to support that for me to just discount that. And I, have the conversation a lot where there was a part of my life where I was fairly negative, and I had a lot to I was a complainer, essentially, and the universe, looking back on it, was like, okay, I took pleasure from complaining, and the universe was like, oh, you like to complain, here's some more things for you to complain about. And I was in this spiral, and then finally was like, you have to, like, and breaking that was tough but essential, to be like, all right, stop complaining. Yeah, there's always something to complain about, but stop and just be more appreciative, gratitude, be kind in the world. And my karma is pretty quick. So when I kind of slip on that, it gets reflected back to me very quickly. And also the other way, when I'm kind, I don't do it for the universal benefit, but it's there and it comes really quickly. And it's never like a direct one-on-one kind of thing. If I'm kind to this person, they're going to do something nice for me. It's like, no, no, no. I'm just kind in the world. And the universe is like, oh, that's your vibe. Cool. Here's more things for you to be
Yeah.
grateful about.
Yes.
Here's more things for you. Here's some more kindness coming your way. Since that's what
Mhm.
you're putting out there. It gets like proven time and time again that I just don't even really think about it anymore.
Yes, it's not rocket science.
It's not. It's
Life
really
is
not.
life is it's like a boomerang. Louise Hay always talks about it's a boomerang. What you put out comes back to you.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that takes it takes some taking risks. You know, I think that there's a lot of us that are trained to like don't be taken advantage of. Keep your guard up. And sometimes I think like I'll hear stories of someone starting to feel really good about there was someone at the gas station and they needed help, and so I helped them out. And then the comments online, you were scammed. They were taking advantage of you. And it's like, and I think it's like, so what? So what? Do you want to spend your life like protecting yourself from being taken advantage of? Because you're going to miss out on so much good stuff. I would way rather be taken advantage of a few times and just keep open, keep showing kindness. Because I would rather be someone who is kind, period. Not someone who is kind to the right people, who makes sure that it has effect and it does. It's like, no, it's just like, if you're mean to me, I'm going to be kind. If you're a terrible waiter to me, I'm going to tip you well. That's who I am. You know?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a good way to be. And there's like there's an objective reality that we all share. Like all three of us are on, a podcast right now recording. That's real. But there's essentially, and there's a way to look at it that it's like, okay, there's three different podcasts happening. It's like there's three different experiences happening. In my worldview, reality is subjective. So when somebody's being like, you gotta be more careful, this world's gonna take advantage of you, it's like, that's not the world I live in. Sorry. It's like, and you're able to kind of, create your own adventure and like direct your own reality. There's, not to say like and this is not to suggest that there's some people that like I don't watch the news, I don't do all this stuff. Okay, just because you don't watch the news does not mean that stuff is not happening. It's just not in your field. That's a choice, and that's fine. But on a personal level, really making that choice to view the world as, the world would rather hug you than harm you, is what a smart person I know says. And so I subscribe to that, and it gets validated on a regular basis.
So true. It's so true. It's all perspective. So when we were preparing for this podcast, this topic, we were like, well, what's the actual definition of kindness? And in the dictionary, it says the quality or state of being friendly, generous, gentle, and considerate. And I love that because, the three of us here are burners. We've gone to Burning Man many, many years. And one of the big principles is gifting. And so we were talking about, is kindness and gifting the same thing? It's a part of it, to be able to give generously from our hearts, whether that is a physical item or a hug or a smile, right? The state of being generous. So sharing our energy, sharing our love, sharing our essence with the world is such a beautiful way to offer kindness. And Burning Man has really taught that principle. Okay, bring something that you have to share, right? And so I think that that's a really beautiful way to start practicing kindness as well. If we're not used to being kind, think about it from that perspective. What can I give today? How can I give something of my heart, of my joy to the world today?
Yeah, I think that's gifting can be kind of a training wheels to kindness, and gifting can be a journey of depth as well. I think when people first go to Burning Man, you often gift some items, a jewelry or a bracelet, and then you start to recognize that, oh, I can gift my talents. and then you start to realize that gifting is really a worldview of looking for the cracks in the world that you can fill. What do I have that can fill this need in a person's life, in their moment? How can I make a day, a moment, experience better for others? And I think that, at that level, I really find gifting and kindness to be very much overlapped, and I like to live in a place of my head on a swivel, looking for opportunities for gifting, and in doing so, you end up being a kind person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a conversation I recently had with somebody, a friend in our community, who was just feeling like it was made apparent to him that he's a bit of a jerk because he's heard it from enough people that it must be true. So,
Ouch.
yeah, and so he was in the midst of processing that, and so, and part of what I kind of shared with him, what for me, that the saying, and I think this is it's from a poet. I think it might be Rumi, but the idea was that everything you say to somebody should pass through three gates. The first gate is it true? The second gate is it kind? The third gate is it necessary? So
Mm-hmm.
is what I'm about to say true, kind, and necessary? And if yes, then by all means let it fly. And if you are finding that it cannot pass through one of those gates, zip it. or say it in a different way or something along those lines. And
That is gold.
I love that.
yes, and applying that to my own life has saved me and other people a lot of grief.
Oh yeah.
And it's something I forget sometimes. But I try to bring it home to that. So whenever I'm having a discussion with my partner or just anyone, using that like MO for conversation is like, okay, that has helped me a lot. So that's been a good one for me.
Thank you so much for that. I'm going to repeat that. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary?
Yeah, kind of goes alongside the saying that a wise man once said nothing. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mindfulness. That's
Yeah.
mindfulness right there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, and just applying that mindfulness to all sorts of interactions in life, with your children, your friends, your parents, your family, strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, just coming from a place of just that unconditional love for everybody. You don't necessarily have to just fawn over like random people, but just be kind, smile. If nothing else, just just a smile towards somebody you're walking by in the street. They don't have to like connect deeply eye contact with every single person, but yeah, you can it's just being mindful of how you show up in the world, and it just feels better at the end of the day.
Yes, absolutely. I think that this big spark that's really happening for me is just really checking in every day. How can I be kind? How can I look for kindness today? How can I continue to share this joy that I feel in my heart with others? Right. And so I feel like maybe we're getting close to a point where we can share our closing sparks. Hopefully, y'all out there are feeling sparked to be kind. But I know for me, I'm feeling super sparked in this conversation and grateful for the kindness that has been in the three of our dynamic and the community out here at large. And so, yeah, how can I be kind is the question that I want to start my days with. How about you guys? You guys got any
I love
closing
that.
sparks?
I love that. I want to share a tool that I use to keep my heart open to being kind, which is the idea of optimism tax. That sometimes you might, be feeling good and you're kind to someone or you trust someone, and and then you get burned, or someone betrays you, or someone lies to you, or you get your heart broken, and the instinct can be, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to protect myself. I'm not going to let that person at the gas station scam me. I'm not. And that is a way to protect yourself from ever that happening again. But the cost is so huge of what you miss. So what I suggest is when I get hurt like that, I go, I just paid the optimism tax. And then I keep going. I keep my heart open. And what do I get in exchange for that minor tax? I get to live in a world filled with awesome people, kind people, and I get to just be open to connection. And that is priceless. And so when next time you feel yourself closing up, go, oh, wait, did I just get to pay an optimum tax? Bargain. Move on.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Love that.
And that's a good one. And for me, just a super quick anecdote. And going with the gas station thing, a guy hit me up at a gas station saying he was hungry. Could I spare him some change? I'm like, well, if you're hungry, I'll get you something to eat. And so come on in. And so he came in and he's like, well, yeah, I'm like, yeah, get anything you want. He's like, well, and he got like ramen, but like this kind you had to cook. I'm like, well, you're gonna have to cook that. He's like, oh, I'll work it out. And I'm like, get like a sandwich or something. He's like, oh, okay. And so he ended up getting $10 worth of food. And there was part of me that was like, I'm just giving this guy like $10 worth of food. I'm like, all right. So as I'm doing this, as I'm ringing it up and everything else, for whatever reason, like those lotto tickets that sit underneath the counter, like one of them was just like blinging at me with like neon like flashing lights. I'm like, and one lotto ticket. And it was $25. Like I won $25. That in being in a gas station that I never would have been in had I not taken the time to like help this person out. And I actually ended up making money on the deal. So it is because that's the kind of world I live in.
Yes.
Because it's like, you don't lose anything by that. You gain from being kind. It is like forgiveness is not something you do for somebody. It's like a gift that you give to yourself. Kindness is the same thing. Being kind in the world is a gift you give to yourself.
Absolutely.
So it's such a better way to like operate in the world. So yeah, give yourself the gift, people.
Yes, thank you so much for that. And I'll just also echo that the most important thing that we can do is to be kind to ourselves. Right. We didn't really touch too much on that on this episode, but it is really such an important thing to be kind with ourselves, the way that we speak to ourselves, the way that we care for ourselves, the way that we tend to our lives. When we can be kind to ourselves, then we are able to experience the world in a much kinder way. Right? The inner and the outer. And it's a practice, it's a learning, there's conditioning that we all get to work through around how can I be kind to myself today, right? What we are for ourselves and we start to see in the world. And so I feel like it does really start within being kind to ourselves.
Yeah, I would like to get into that on a future date because we didn't touch too much on
agree.
that.
That's a future episode.
That's a future episode. Yeah, let's get into that. The power of self-talk, positive self-talk, or something like that. Yeah.
Well, as we close up here, I want to share how you can find me in the world, especially for my morning Love Ambassador or Love Morning broadcasts, which are every day at 9 a.m. Pacific on YouTube and Facebook. And it's really a practice in getting into a headspace of kindness. And we do it with a group of people. We know, recognizing that, it's easier, I think, when you're not alone. And we share gratitude. We align ourselves in the direction of kindness and generosity and presence and authenticity. And I would love to have you join us. The links to all of that stuff is through my homepage site at johnstin.com, JOHNSTYN.com.
Amazing. I love that. I am also a love ambassador. I've been initiated by HALCYON. Thank you so much. And my passion and work in the world is also about cultivating self-kindness, self-love, using affirmations as part of that. So poweraffirmation.com is my website. You guys can find a lot of fun stuff on there, affirmations through audio. You can hear some of my guided meditations. I also work with people one-on-one and cultivating practices that can really build life skills for sustainable happiness with meditation and movement and breath and acts of kindness. And so, yeah, please do find me on there. And then I also do one-on-one in-person sessions through body work, energy work, healing work, and also personalized life reset retreats. And so that is a really wonderful way to just kind of snap out of the challenges that life brings and really come back to that place of love that we truly are. So yeah, please check out the show notes also. You can find a free gift in there, as well as a 10% off in my shop.
Cool. Cool. Sounds great. As I mentioned before, I've got a nutritional supplement company called New World Nutritionals. That's spelled NU World Nutritionals. And we have a few mushroom-based supplements that are designed to help alleviate and improve symptoms of depression, anxiety, ADHD, even PTSD, anything that's going on with your brain. These products are designed to help you kind of overcome any challenges you might have. And as we talk about, today, also can definitely help improve your worldview, so to speak. Which is powerful because when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. So this is the good way to go about that. You can find us online at newworldnutritionals.com. You can use the code SPARKED for 10% off of all of our products.
Amazing. Yes, supplements for inner kindness.
I just finished a bottle, so I'm going to reach out to you offline.
Fantastic.
Betsy, would you close us out with an affirmation?
Yes, absolutely. So for those of you out there listening, if you'd like to join in this affirmation, you can close your eyes if you're not driving, of course. Take a deep breath and repeat these words and let it fuel your mindset today. I allow kindness to guide my actions. I allow kindness to guide my actions. I allow kindness to guide my actions. The kinder I am to myself, the more kindness I see in the world. The more kind I am to myself, the more kindness I see in the world. The more kind I am to myself, the more kindness I see in the world. One more time. The more kind I am to myself, the more kindness I see in the world. Thank you so much for listening out there. Thank you for the kindness that you are spreading in the world. It is truly sparking more light, more joy, more goodness in the world. We're making the world a better place. Every smile, every moment that we have an opportunity to give our gifts. So thank you all for listening. Stay sparked. We are always open to receive your reviews. We're always open to receive requests for topics as well. So thank you guys for reaching out. What a honor to get to have this conversation with you guys.
Stay sparked, people, and enjoy this special closing soundtrack by MaMuse.
Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. We don't know what's coming, but we can help shape what's ahead. Kindness as our currency, the commonwealth is in our hands. So give a little all, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round, there's more than enough. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. I believe in the power of love, power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness, kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Look up now, people, but keep your ear to the ground. We are the river flowing, generosity abounds. So give a little all, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round, there's more than enough. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love, power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness, kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Honeybees serve sweetness only to help the world bloom, bringing love to the flower, from the flower to the fruit. We can learn a thing or two. So give a little all, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round. There's more than enough. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. We don't know what's coming. We can help shape what's ahead. Kindness as our currency. The commonwealth is in our hands. So give a little, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round. There's